Alright, so I just got done yanking all the wiring out. This is Harbor Freight, the Harbor Freight wiring kit, and this is utter garbage. This is not copper wiring, this is aluminum. And the covering on it's not UV resistant. This sat in the sun and the sun just ate right through this wire down through the aluminum. So if you absolutely have to get your trailer wired up this weekend, and this is the only kit in town, don't buy it. Go get a set of the magnetic lights. Because those you can take off, you can set in a box. They're not going to be exposed to UV when you're not using them. They'll last longer. I actually have a set of the magnetic lights that I've had longer than this, and they're what I use if I got to get the trailer going. I keep them in the box on the front of the trailer, and they hold together. If I need a set of lights, plug them in. They're good to go. So if you absolutely got to get your trailer going today, get the magnetic lights. Don't get this Harbor Freight kit. So I've got some new wire. I'm going to run some new wire through this thing and hopefully get this trailer back ready to roll this week. But this is the original, and you can see the wiring is inside of a secondary sheath. So this is much better for protecting your wiring long term. I don't have any of this stuff. Basically I've got just the 4-strand wiring from this is from O'Reilly's. It's trailer wiring. We'll see how good it holds up. I figure it's probably going to be better than the Harbor Freight stuff. I can see this actually has copper inside of it, so my only hope is that the wire itself is UV stable. So that, and I need to get a plug at the front. I don't have a plug for the front of the trailer. Basically all I'm going to do right now is run this wire and splice it in the trailer lights. But I've got to clean up all the connections and get them ready to use crimp connectors. All right, so the wiring, basically it all runs, it's 4 wires together. I'm going to take the 4 wires and the green is the right side, the yellow is the left side, but I'm going to run all the wires down this right side. One, if I have an issue and I've got to troubleshoot the wiring, that'll be on the shoulder side of the road. And so I won't be laying out in traffic if I've got to fix wires at the last second on the... Granted, if I have an issue like that, I'm probably going to pull over and just throw the magnetic lights on it. But if I end up stuck and having to do wiring, I'd like to be laying on the shoulder side of the road. So I'm going to run the wire from the plug all the way down this right side, and then after I finish up at the back of this side, the wires are going to run across to the left side to do the left side wiring. And I think that will be a little bit safer. And that also keeps me from having to split the wiring, run it down both sides, and keeps it simple. That said, I want all my excess up there at the front, so I'm going to start here on the back left side. I'm going to run up to the fender lights, then bring it back to the tail light, go across the other side, and then go up. So I went and got a razor blade so that I can separate these wires apart. Basically, I'm going to have to splice a piece of white wire for ground and either yellow or green. Actually, I'm going to use this black and white wire that's part of the original wiring to this trailer. I'm going to salvage it, and that's what I'm going to use for taps to run off of this main feed to each of the individual lights. This wire is good quality, so I'm not worried about it. Alright, I got a bunch of these zip tie holders. I just drilled a hole in the frame. I'm going to run this through the inside of the fender, and it's going to hold a zip tie that'll hold the wiring harness in place. And that's how I plan on securing in the places where there's not stuff built in to hold in the wiring. I'm going to secure it with these zip tie holders. Alright, so I've got the wiring job mostly done, but I ran out of wire up here. I've still got a few feet to the front of the trailer. But I want to show you this, how I did this part right here. You can see right here in the fender, I put one of those little rivetable zip tie holders right there. I want to keep the wiring from hitting the tire. I had it on the other side. I got to replace the light still because I had a blowout and the tread hit the wiring and ripped the light out and everything. There's not really a good way to protect from that, the way these trailers are set up. Ideally, you would put a piece of conduit through here and have the wiring inside that, and that would prevent that. On the back side here, I ran the wiring along this channel here. There's nothing really securing it in between, except for the tension of the wire, and it doesn't have enough room to fall off the ledge here. But you can see I tapped off here to run that light, the side marker light, and it'll blink with the turn signal, and it'll come on with the headlights. I used heat shrink butt connectors. If you saw, the original wiring was all done with these taps. And the wiring harness on this truck actually worked for years this way. These are terrible, but they work. You know, a lot of times I say, don't overthink this stuff. A lot of guys hate heat shrink butt connectors, but they work better than these do, and these worked. So, again, you know, and honestly, the main reason I'd redid the wiring on this trailer in the first place was my son's dog chewed it up. If the dog hadn't chewed the wiring up, I never would have got rid of these taps. The trailer would have been running just fine. The taillight housings, one of them got chewed up and had water in it. These are Harbor Freight LED lights, and I had to kind of make a funky bracket to fit them on there, but they work good. So this was not an easy, it's not a quick task, it's not a real easy task if you're having to do your own mounting. Now, you know, there's electrical tape holding this stuff in place, there were zip ties. It was not good, and the way I've done the wiring is far and above the way it was from the factory. So if you want to do it right, you know, take your time, do it right. Just know it's going to take you a few hours, even if you have experience. All right, so we're getting La Cucaracha loaded up here. We're trying to decide if we're going to rehab it or scrap it, but we're loading on the trailer, and we brought keys for it. It's the wrong key. Chalk this up as something you'll never see again. With the wheels locked, it's going straight on the trailer. Can't get this lucky. But yeah, the trailer's running fine. I did wire up the side marker lights on the fenders backwards. They're wired up to the turn and brake instead of the running lights. So you learn a little bit as you go. Don't quit trying though.